BGP community. For that, here we have gone back to the same topology which we used for other attributes. BGP community is also an optional attribute. See, I have said show IP BGP. It is showing the path taken is the bottom path. Even for 88, it's the same story. It goes via router 3. The reason is the AS. Because we did, AS prepend, going via router 2 is not the best one, you see. Show IP BGP. We have prepended many times. So for 8888 and 88, it is not going via router 4. But what if router 3 is not advertising 888 and 88? What if router 5 is not advertising to router 3? Then R1 should go via router 2. Right now, router 1 is going via router 3. This will switch to router 2 if router 5 stops advertising the routes to router 3. That's what we are going to check now. Using community, we are going to stop advertising. You see, we will be advertising it to router 3, but router 3 will not advertise to anyone. Or in another word, router 7 will advertise to 5, and 5 won't advertise to 3. Because I'm going to tell, while advertising, I'm going to tell to router 5, no export. Let me take you to the document and explain you. Do not advertise these routes to external BGP peer. This one, do not advertise this route to any peer. First, let us try this one, no advertise. So I'll go to router 7 now. Show IP BGP. Router 7 has got 88 and 888. These are the two networks we are using for testing. Access list 10 permit 8.8.8.8 host. What, do I have any access list already? Do show IP access list. Okay, there is already an access list. I'm going to use a different number then. Access list 11. Access list 11 permit host. Boom. Route map. I'll simply say community match IP address 11 set community. No, yeah, correct. Set community. See, internet, well-known community, local AS, well-known community. We are going to say no advertise. Do not advertise to any peer. Now, do show run section router BGP. You see, we have this router 5 as a neighbor. I'm going to go to the neighbor, router BGP 40, neighbor, this, use the route map called com. Out. Very important is neighbor. Okay, I'm not typing that important command. Now I want to show on our 5. Before that, let me clear IPBGP star soft. I'm going to show you on router 5, still the routes are learnt. The routes are learnt. Still the routes are learnt. All right, the routes are still there. And also when I type show IP route, show IP BGP 8.8.8.8/32, I don't see anything related to community in this output. You know why? We did not send that community. That is the important command. After setting community, if you don't send it, actions can't be taken. Show IP BGP, right now we see that 8888 is received from both 6 and 7, but 7 is preferred because of the high MAD. But now 7 is going to advertise saying, I give you, but don't give to anyone else. So far, it is only configured. It has not taken that action. And 7 has not told 5 not to advertise, because I can see here 7 is still giving without any community. There are two paths, one via router 6, one via router 7. Going via 7 is the best. It is all because of the weight attribute, which is not set in this path. Now, after I say send the community, see what magic happens on router 5. Now I'm going to say router BGP 40, neighbor. This is the neighbor. Send the community, boom. Now you see the output changes. Okay, clear IPBGP star soft. Now go back to router 5. Look at this. Do you see that? Earlier when I was checking, I was not seeing this. It says for this router 5, this is the best. But 5 is not ready to advertise. That's why a route from router 3 started coming in. Earlier this was not there. Please make a note. Earlier via router 3 was not there. But now, because router 7 is not advertising to 5, 5 thinks that 3 thinks that because 5 is not advertising to 3 thinks that this poor 5 don't have any knowledge about this network, so let me give. So router 3 started giving this to you. Earlier router 3 was not giving it because router 3 was receiving route to reach this network 8888 from 7. Now router 3 is no more learning it. You want to see that? I'll show you. On router 3, Earlier, we didn't check. Anyway, on router 1, we were checking. When we were checking, it was going via router 3. But I tell you now, it will be going via router 2. You see, it goes via router 2. The reason why it goes via router 2, because router 3 don't know that there is a path via router 5. Show IB BGP. Router 3 don't know. Why? Router 5 did not give. Because router 5 has received with the tag value saying don't talk, no advertise. So router 5 is not ready to give this network.
Question.
Yeah.
I have a question. In this case, the R7 did not advertise, sent the communication no advertise to R5, and that is why R5 did not advertise the prefix forward to R3. So let's say R6 also advertises the same prefix to R5.
Yeah, but I understand. See, 7 only giving the advertisement. 7 and 6 both are giving the advertisement. When we check show IPBGP, both 7 and 6 both are giving the advertisement.
Right.
Why is 6 route is not given to 5? Sorry, to 3. Why 5 is not giving the route given by same route was also given by 6? Why 5 is not giving to 3? That was the question, correct?
Yes.
And you already got the answer after I show you the output, but for others I'm telling, because router 5 considers this as the best for itself. For router 5, which one is the best? This is the best. Router 5 cannot advertise something which is not in the routing table.
Okay.
Router 5 is not having this as the route in the routing table. It is not having 6 as the gateway. Router 5 is not having.
Okay, so the router, so the router advertises only those paths which are in its routing table
Yes.
to the next neighbor, right?
Yes.
That is why.
Yes.
Okay. So when the 7 advertises prefix with no advertise means, but it is still advertising it. But only thing is, it is advertising with no.
See, it is advertising to 5 and asking 5 not to advertise to anyone.
Not to advertise forward, right? So okay, got it. So it's still the best route basically, but it's asking that don't advertise it forward.
Yeah, for 5 it is still the best.
Still the best route, right? Yeah.
So the action is not taken locally. That is what very important for us to understand. When it is community, always the action will be taken on the next router, not on the same router. The next router may be EBGP, maybe IBGP.
Just one more thing. Is it safe to say that community is basically used for the purpose of tagging your prefixes so that the adjacent neighbor or
will
whatever
know the meaning
knows
of,
how to knows how to process it or advertise it or
how to use it.
How to use it. Okay. So that is what is the main purpose of communities then.
Yeah. So here we are using well-known communities. We can also use our user-defined communities. See, it's well-known community. It's not well-known attribute. It's well-known community. It's well-known community. Because it is well-known, don't think, it is well-known attribute. It's an optional attribute. Community is an optional attribute. Let me show you somewhere. It should be there. You see, the community is an attribute, optional. Okay, it is right here in the same page. Okay, so now we have seen no advertise. Now I'm going to release I'm going to remove from router 7 And I'm going to put the same configuration on router 5. Router BGP 40. No. And also no. I removed. Do show history. And I'm going to copy from the access list. I'm going to put the same thing on router 5. Notepad is needed. Got the notepad. Now, I removed clear IPBGP star soft. I'm expecting router 5 to have route only from 6 and 7, not from 3. See, from 3 it is no more, which means router 5 is advertising to router 3. That's why router 3 is not giving the route via router 2 anymore. Now, if I want to show that in output, I can go to router 3 and show you that. Router 3, router 3. Earlier it was having only route via 2, but now it should be going via router 3. See, means 5. Okay, so the routes are coming from 5. As I said earlier, I'm going to paste this on router 5. And now I'm going to go to router, I'm going to configure the router BGP 30, neighbor 35 or 35.0.3, use the route map, called com out. Clear IPBGP star soft.
Send.
Yeah, thank you. Router BGP 30, you see, I did not say send the community. That is important. Send the community. Clear IPBGP star soft. Now going to router 3 to verify. I tell you router 3 will receive it. Router 3 still receives it. It is also now receiving from router 2. You know why? Because router 3 is not giving to router 1, and router 1 thinks that this poor router 3, he don't know about these things. Come on, let us share with him. Too fun, you know. So it shares like that. Earlier it was not sharing this. Router 1 was not sharing about this. So router 3 still holds it, but it is not giving to IPGP itself. Because we said no advertise. No advertise means you cannot give it to both eBGP and IBGP. You cannot give it to anyone. Now we are going to change that as no export. When we make it as no export, we should not see this route. Why? Because router 3 will be providing the update to router 1 and router 2, but router 2 won't give it to router 4. Only to eBGP don't give. Let's see that. I'll first remove that community that we set, sorry. Fine. Router BGP 30. I remove this. Do clear IPBGP star soft. Now if you go to router 3, you will not be learning from router 2, you see. You don't learn 88 from router 2. But when the community was there, you are learning 18 from 2 also, because router 1 was not learning from router 3. Now, because router 3 is providing a less hop count path, even router 2 will know, show IP BGP, that I have a path via router 3. And if you go to router 4, show IP BGP, BGP says I learned 88 even from router 2. Listen. When I go to router 5 and say no export, this will not be seen in router 4. Why? Router 2 will not export it to eBGP. So the fine output that we are expecting after I say no export on router 5 is router 4 should not see this path. Router 4 should not receive update from router 2. This line should not be there. This line should not be there. Let us go to router 5 now. Sorry. Route map this. I'll remove this. So I'm going to say set community no export. So do not export to next AS. Means it won't send it to 4. Clear IPBGP star soft. As I said earlier, I should not see the route on R4. This should be now gone. Oh, I did not say send community. Router BGP 30. Boom. Oh, I said no. I'm saying now send the community. And also I'm going to attach that route map. Clear IPBGP star soft. Boom. Now you will see router 4, where it is, here it is. Even now it is receiving. Let's go and check from router 3. Going to router 3. Router 3, show IP, BGP. Okay, there is no export. So it will advertise to router 1. That's why you're not learning from router 2 or router 1. It'll advertise to router 1. Let's go and check in router 1. Yeah, you see, you still learn from router 1. But the problem is router 1 is not configured with send the community. So the community tag is missing. We need to say send the community on every router. So router 1 is not having anything related to community. See, no marking of. And
so
what
community
about?
is restricted to only the
Yeah.
peer then. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. So here also, if you see, show IP BGP 8.8.8.8, there is no mention about community. And this is because I use a route reflector. On router 1's router ID becomes the cluster ID. Networks are originating from router 3, 8888. Now I'm going to router 4, router 4, router 4, do you still have it? It still has got its clear IP BGP star soft. Show IP BGP, nothing changes. So I'll go to router 3 and say router BGP 10 send default no, there is no, I need to particularly say for each neighbor. Yeah. So now router 1 will be receiving with a tag clear IPBGP star soft. Yeah, router 1 has received with a tag clear IPBGP star soft. But router 1 is not having that send the community command. As a result, router 2 still don't know that I should not forward it. So what I do is I go to router 1 and say router BGP 10 neighbor 2222 send the community clear IP BGP star soft. Boom. Now router 2 will know I should not send. See, router 2 knows that I should not send. As a result, if you go to router 4, boom, boom, no more via router 2. Yep, so no export and no advertise. We know the difference now. Let's try no internet. There is no GSHUT available on all devices, only on XR devices. So what we have seen is the well-known communities. What we are going to do next is user-defined community. It is like you set a value on one autonomous system, you send it to the next autonomous system. Next autonomous system will check for the value. If the value is matched, then it will take an action as per your configuration. If you say give more local preference for this, then it will do local preference high for that route that matched the tag value. Or if you say if this is matched, do not advertise. Then you can straight away say don't advertise. Anyway, that is a user defined. You can see that in the example here. Now in this document, they did not explain about that. So you're going to do this as a homework. If possible, do simulate it. If not, at least go through the document, understand what it says and come, so that when I do, you will not have confusion. If I do now, you will really be confused. But it is very easy actually. You see, we are going to use community to decide how the packet will enter into this autonomous system 30. From somewhere outside, if it is coming to 6666, it should exit via router 1. If it is going to 777, it should exit via router 2. That is what task is. Repeating again, from somewhere in the internet, traffic is coming to 6666 to both router 1 and router 2. But if the destination is 6666, we want the exit to be via router 1, which means I need to set local preference higher for 6666 here and higher for 77777 here. How router 1 and router 2 knows for which network I need to set high local preference? I tag and I send. And then I tell router 1 and router 2, if this tag matches, local preference is 400. If the other tag matches, local preference is 50. That's all. If you run through this example configuration, that is what you will see. All right? It'll take some time for you to understand. So this is the tag value we are setting. And if you see the access list 101, it is talking about this 66666 and 77777. Yeah, I leave it to you as a homework.
Can we